You don't struggle because you lack interests. You struggle because you have too many. Every time you start moving toward one path, another idea quietly pulls your attention away. And after years of switching directions, you begin asking a heavier question. What if I never become truly good at anything? But what if the real problem isn't your scattered attention? What if it's the way we were taught to think about careers? People around you often seem simple in their direction. One goal, one profession, one identity. Doctor, engineer, designer, teacher. But your mind doesn't move in a straight line. It moves sideways, diagonally, sometimes in circles. You might read psychology at night, watch business videos in the morning, explore design tools on weekends, and still feel drawn towards something entirely different next month. From the outside, this looks like inconsistency. From the inside, it feels like curiosity that never turns off. Over time, this creates a quiet psychological pressure. You begin to believe that your many interests are proof of indecision. You feel behind people who picked one thing early. And the longer this continues, the more dangerous the internal thought becomes. Maybe I'm the type of person who never finishes anything. This belief slowly shapes your behavior. You hesitate before committing. You abandon projects early because you assume you'll change directions anyway. You underinvest in skills because you don't fully trust your own focus. Behavioral psychology calls this identity-based prediction. When the brain believes something about who you are, it begins to act in ways that make that belief come true. And yet, something interesting is happening beneath the surface, something most people never see. Having many interests is not a flaw. It is a specific cognitive profile. Some brains are optimized for depth early. Others are optimized for pattern connection across different fields. Personality research often refers to this as high openness to experience, a trait linked with curiosity, exploration, and cross-domain thinking. The problem is not your curiosity. The problem is the outdated expectation that every career must follow a single straight specialization path. The world used to reward narrow specialization because industries were stable and predictable. Today, problems are complex, fast-changing, and interdisciplinary. And suddenly, the mind that explores many areas is not scattered. It is positioned differently. But this advantage only appears if you understand how your brain actually builds mastery. Learning does not only happen vertically, going deeper into one skill. It also happens horizontally, connecting knowledge across domains. Neuroscience shows that creativity and advanced problem-solving rely heavily on associative networks in the brain. The more diverse your experiences, the more unexpected connections your brain can generate. Think of your mind like a transportation map. A specialist builds one very long highway. You build several smaller roads that eventually intersect. At first, their highway looks faster. But over time, your intersections allow you to travel between ideas in ways others cannot. This is the foundation of what researchers increasingly call M-shaped skill development. Instead of one deep vertical skill, the traditional I-shaped career, the M-shape involves 2 or 3 deeper competencies, connected by a wide base of supporting knowledge. The brain loves this structure because it supports transfer learning, the ability to apply knowledge from one domain to another. This is why some people suddenly accelerate later in their careers. Their earlier random interests quietly form the intersections. But knowing this is not enough. Without a strategy, curiosity still feels chaotic. So the real question becomes, how do you turn many interests into one coherent direction? Step 1. Stop choosing interests. Start choosing skill clusters. Instead of asking, which passion should I pick? Ask, which 2 to 3 skills can grow together? Psychologically, this reduces decision paralysis, because the brain struggles when forced to eliminate options completely. Clustering allows multiple motivations to coexist. Example, communication plus psychology plus video editing content strategy. Technology plus design plus business product building. Your career direction often lives at the intersection, not inside one circle. Step 2. Design depth seasons, not lifelong commitments. The brain learns faster when it focuses intensely for defined periods. Cognitive science calls this contextual immersion, sustained attention in a limited scope. Instead of worrying about the next 20 years, commit to 6 to 12-month depth seasons, where one skill becomes temporarily dominant. Example, 1 year focused mainly on design, while still lightly maintaining other interests. This gives the brain the repetition needed for competence without triggering the fear of being trapped forever. Step 3. Build visible bridges between your skills. Your brain already connects your interests internally, but the world needs to see those connections externally. Behavioral psychology shows that identity stabilizes when people can see their own narrative. Create projects that combine multiple interests into one output. Example: a blog that merges psychology insights with business lessons. A YouTube channel explaining technical ideas through storytelling. A portfolio showing both analytical and creative work. When skills interact publicly, they stop feeling scattered. They start forming a recognizable identity. Step 4. Track compounding advantages, not short-term results. The biggest psychological trap for multi-interest people is comparing early progress with specialists. But specialists often peak earlier, while interdisciplinary thinkers compound later. Neuroscience research on expertise shows that cross-domain integration becomes more valuable over time because complex environments reward flexible thinking. Example: someone who understands both marketing and psychology may initially move slower than a pure marketer, but later becomes far more adaptable in strategy roles. The metric is not speed. It is long-term leverage. Step 5. Protect your curiosity from shame. Repeated social feedback, just pick one thing, can gradually suppress exploratory behavior. Over time, this reduces intrinsic motivation, which neuroscience identifies as a key driver of sustained learning. Create small routines that allow curiosity to stay alive without disrupting your main focus. Example: a weekly exploration hour where you learn something unrelated to your current primary skill. This keeps your cognitive network expanding while your main competencies deepen. Think of your career not as a ladder, but as a growing structure. Some people build one tall tower early. You build multiple pillars that eventually support something wider. The M shape is not about doing everything. It is about letting a few deeper skills rise while your broader curiosity quietly connects them. At first, the structure looks unfinished. But with time, it becomes unusually stable because it rests on several strengths instead of only one. And this is why many people with many interests feel lost early, but unexpectedly valuable later. You were not designed to think in a straight line. Your mind naturally searches for patterns across different worlds. The goal is not to silence that curiosity. The goal is to give it a direction strong enough to hold it. One day, the skills that once felt unrelated will begin to connect, and what looked like confusion will quietly reveal itself as preparation. Not everyone is meant to follow a single path. Some people are meant to build the intersections. Subscribe Extraordinary Mind for more videos.